if you want to run towards something that you want, it's really useful to be running away from something you truly don't want.
Yeah.
And I thought about, so that's part of the reason we built that into the system. And I had a metaphysical take on that too, which is like many religious systems have a kind of notion of something like hell that's very well developed in Christianity. And so hell is where you end up when you lie. That's one way of thinking about it, in a very good way. You might think, well, is there any psychological utility in that idea? And the answer is, yeah. You need to know where you could end up if things went wrong, because then you're motivated by fear to move forward. If you're not motivated by fear to move forward, then your fear's in front of you stopping you, because you might think, oh my God, I can't take the risks necessary to attain these goals. What if something goes wrong? Well, it's like, yeah, well then you're frozen. But if you think, no, wait a second, there's risks to proceeding, but nothing compared to the risks of failing. So then the fear is behind you, pushing you forward. That's so you need a vision of hell. It's like, okay, what's your personal vision of hell? You let your life fall apart because of your own stupidity and your own blindness. It's like you're the worst place you could be in 5 years. Well, that's what we ask people to write about. Arithmetic helps too.
In which sense?
Well, this is something I've done with big groups of students and my clients as well. It's like, okay, I ask students in particular between the ages of, say, 18 and 20. It's like, well, how much time do you waste in a day? Is it an hour? People say no. Is it like 4 hours? No. 10? No. It's usually about 6. I can get a group of 200 students to agree that they're just wasting 6 hours a day. No, and by their own definition of wasting, right? So, okay. So then we do some mathematics with that. We've got the 6. That's fine. 6 hours a day. Okay. So that's 40 hours a week. All right, so then I think, well, what's your time worth? And they think, well, minimum wage, because, most of the students, if they went out to work, they'd only get minimum wage. But that's not right, because that's a discounted version. Their time is worth way more than that if they're working on something useful, because it's an investment. So it's perfectly reasonable to assume that if you're a reasonably bright student, your time is worth $25 an hour, something like that, because of its potential for future payoff. It's okay. Well, that's $1,000 a week. Right, so it's $4,000 a month, it's $50,000 a year. In 4 years, it's $200,000. So that's what wasting your day is costing you. It's like, let's make no mistake about it. You're going to be $200,000 poorer in 4 years because you're wasting your time. Is that really what you want to do? You're rich enough so that you're willing to forego that $200,000. Well, no one's ever sat them down and said, look, put an estimate out of the value of your time. Figure out how much of it you're wasting, and then ask yourself if you really think that that's a good idea. Because it's actually not a good idea. And I don't think anybody thinks it's a good idea.
Yeah. Damn straight. I think it ties into if it gets measured, it gets managed.
Yeah.
The moment you start putting stuff down in numbers, that does something to our brain.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the goal setting issue. It's like you calibrate things and make them precise. You can no longer hide from it. And the funny thing too is that, because I also ask the classes the same thing. Well, do you enjoy yourself while you're wasting that time? And the answer is always no. People feel terrible. It's like, they're watching one YouTube video after another that they're not even interested in, or they're watching like endless amounts of pornography or some damn thing, or they're playing video games, not because they want to, but because they can't stop, and they know they should be doing something else. It's not enjoyable time. So not only is it and that's part of why it's wasted. It's like it's not productive and it's not enjoyable. Well, procrastination needs no explanation. The answer to should you do something difficult and energy intensive is no, because it's difficult and it's energy intensive, right? So there actually has to be your default position can easily be, no, I'm not going to do that difficult and intensive thing. There should be some internal resistance to doing that because it's costly. Okay, well, but then you think, well, wait a second, there are conditions under which investing in something intensive and energy demanding is appropriate. Well, yeah, but you got to specify the conditions. Like, why should you listen to yourself? You could think about it this way. Why should you listen to yourself if you're an idiot? You know what I mean? If you don't have a plan your body's thinking, no, I'm just going to sit here and take it easy because who knows when the next antelope is going to come along so I can kill it. I'm just going to lie here like a lion and wait.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you need a reason that that's a bad idea, because your deeper self might be saying, well, you want me to get up and do something. What makes you think I can trust you? You know, you're not just running down some blind alley. Well, if you've had some victories, you can say, no, we're serious about this. And so, and then the goal setting too, like I would think about it more like, it's more like the development of a vision. It's a better way of thinking about it, I think, because goals, it's a bit narrow in a sense. The idea is that you can have a vision of the future and a counter vision. And that you, not only can you have it, you need that. It's without that, you won't move forward against your procrastination. And you need real reasons, and terror is a good one. Terror is great, man.